Yo guys, I'm Niek from Produce School and welcome back to a brand new video. In this video, I'm going to once again try to create a melodic techno track in 1 hour. I'm going to try to do as much as possible, explain as much as possible, and see how far I can get in approximately 1 hour. Today is going to be a different kind of video than you guys are used to, because I'm going to be working in Ableton Live, something we never have done before, but we are very curious what you guys think about it. And you should also honestly tell us if we should stick to FL Studio or if we can, for example, switch between different kind of DAWs for different videos. For me, the workflow in Ableton is really nice, so in 1 hour I think I'm better off using Ableton. So yeah, that's why we're using it today. I'm going to try to use the sounds from our latest Melodic Techno pack, Horizon, as much as possible, to give you an idea what you can do with the sounds and to really demonstrate that it really contains basically everything you need for your next Melodic Techno track. If you want to check out this pack, make sure to go to the link in the description or click on the button over here. Let's now dive into the video. I'm here in Ableton Live, and as you can see, I have this locators right here, which says intro, build up, drop, drop outro, build up 2. It's just a simple reference in terms of arrangement that I can use to go as quick as possible and finish as much as possible in 1 hour. And even if you're not doing it in a certain time frame, I would still recommend to use these kind of locators, because it can really help you to improve your workflow and to just not be stuck in, for example, your 4-bar drop loop or whatever. I'm going to start by selecting a kick and a bass, which is the foundation of a melodic techno track. This one sounds really nice. So let's make a loop out of that and also immediately loop that right here. I want my kick to be around -6 decibels. Which will leave us plenty of headroom to work with. Let's now open up a serum and search for a simple bass. And bass for this style doesn't have to be complicated, and you can kind of choose what kind of bass you want. For example, the rolling bass, which you hear a lot. This time I think I'm just going to go for something rhythmic, which you also hear a lot. Alright, so let's search for a bass sound. Basically just a simple kind of saw bass where we will just filter out the high end, so it leaves us with like the low end, like the sub. Something like this. Let's turn off the delay and the reverb and make sure that it's a bit more filtered. Really simple, basically just the basic mini filtered, and then some tape saturation and a little EQ. But I think that will do the job for sure, especially with some processing. And before I start messing around with this, I want to load a Kickstart 2. It recently came out. It has a really cool function that you can route your Kickstart to the external sidechain input. So for example, the kick in this case, and then the sidechain will only hit when your kick is playing. So you don't need to automate that, which is pretty handy sometimes. Here in the sidechain section, just select your kick, and for this one I want to keep it on 100%, and then I think we're ready to go. Maybe put an EQ on it as well first. The velocity is linked to the cutoff, so if you put it down, Let's cut out a bit more. Sounds pretty nice already. I think we can use this for sure. Let's make it a bit more fat. I like to use FabFilter Saturn for it. And there is this V1 preset, which is called Deep Analog Bass. Put it before the equalizer. Just makes it a bit more warm. Let's listen with the kick. Let's open up an Echo Boy to make it a bit more rhythmic and unique. Make sure you add the low cut and the high cut. And then here you can add some saturation, such as the tube tape. Really important to cut out the low end, otherwise your mix will instantly get messy. You have to be careful with this anyway, because it just can ruin your mix. But if it's done correctly, it can add a bit more depth to your mix, and it can just make it a bit more interesting. Okay, let's now add a perk that will function as a clap. I just thought about that, that it could sound really nice. It's something you hear a lot in these tracks. Something like this, a woody kind of perk. And then you can actually pitch it down. Make sure it isn't too loud, and what you can do is you can also roll off the high end to make it really like dry sounding or something. And then you can get creative with an Echo Boy once again, and automating that. Let's add ping pong to it, 2 different times. A bit more feedback, and then the mix level all the way down, and automating that can give us quite a nice result. Add some high cut. Just adds a bit of groove to it. Some reverb afterwards. And maybe some decapitator to make it like a bit more harsh, a bit more crispy. Let's add a head loop underneath it. I don't want to waste too much time on all these little details because it gets quite boring and I won't get far in 1 hour that way. Add some sidechain. Okay, so let's add a rack that we made for the Horizon pack, which is called Add Texture. And you can basically create cool noise effects with it. For example, and let's automate that. Like that, I think that will sound nice. A tiny bit of reverb to add a bit more depth to it. Let's group this into a drum group. And this into a bass group. And next up, let's add another synth. Kind of thinking whether I want a bass shot first or a like lead sound. I guess I'm just going for the lead sound. Then going to put it away, add a bass sound. I think that will fit. Then try to blend them together. So let's do that. Let's search for a lead. I know this one is really huge. This one is really nice as well. Maybe we can try something, at least make a melody. We can always change up the sound. Add some sidechain and EQ to it as well to just blend it in a little bit better. Not sure about the sound. Let's try this one. Something more like this. Let's add some manual delay and reverb to it as well, because I think that just sounds way better than the Serum reverb and delay. Ping pong, I think this could work. No, let's use the dotted version. Maybe just browse the other sounds as well. This one is really nice as well, but for another kind. I'm going to play around with the velocity here as well. Maybe make that even a bit more like this. Alright, so I think I'm going to leave that one for now and try to add some kind of bass shot in between the empty gaps or on top of it. Yeah, to just make it more interesting, to start filling the drop a little bit more. So this one is a really cool preset. But let me listen. This could work. add a sidechain to it. Something which is important for these kind of bass shots is to cut out the low end pretty harsh, especially like the sub area, because we already have a sub and that can get so messy. You just don't want that. Alright, some reverb and delay would help as well. Let's add a little compressor. I think there's a cool preset. Give it a bit more punch. Maybe some saturation as well. Medium curve. Make sure it doesn't get too loud. Maybe we can automate the cutoff a little bit. Alright, so some reverb and some delay will work really well. Maybe an Echo Boy, a really short one. Ooh, that's really nice. And then some reverb after that, and I think it will sound pretty cool. That doesn't do much. I think it's the wrong one. Okay, that sounds pretty nice already. I think we have a solid foundation of the drop. Now let's group the bass and the kick together and add an EQ to it, so we can make a filter automation. In between, for example, the first and the second part of the drop, like this. Maybe add some kind of extra melody here. Really nice. I'm going to keep it like that. Maybe delete this. Wait. Oh, that's nice. Adds to the groove a little bit. Maybe keep the filter open a little bit. That's too much. Filtered it sound way better. Let's use an impact from Astral. I know one in there that's in there, which is really good for this. Maybe put it here. Alright, so for the second part of the drop, let's try to add a snare. I kind of prefer the snare a lot of the times over a clap sound. It's also used in a lot of tracks. I don't know why. Snares like this just sounds really good in this style. And like play around with the rhythm. Okay, so let me automate the correct cutoff right here. This one. Wait. Yeah, it's this one. Automation. Let's add an open head as well. This one. They could all work. Let's just try one. Alright, so let's add some more FX to it. For example, some atmospheres. This one could work perfectly. Let me see which bass note we're working with. G. So that's 2 semitones up. No, wait, sorry. Five semitones down for this one. make sure it's down in volume. The low end is like completely erased. Maybe even try some kind of radio, some final distortion. And some EQing again. And some sidechain. Some reverb to push it a bit more to the back for the atmosphere. You can make it really wet. Something that's really cool is this Autopan plugin, and that you can use as well. Let's put it here. Makes it kind of unstable and crackling, and it can sound really nice. So let's copy this to the intro part already, because the intros for Melodic Techno mostly are really simple. It's just some ambient sounds, the kick and the bass, and maybe some drums. You can also like delete them in the first part, and then some filtering to just create a little contrast. Wait, let me create separate. I think I would prefer this to be separate. So we can keep the sub out of the bass sound for a longer time than the kick. So right here, get rid of this then. Let's use this lead right here and introduce it already somewhere in the intro, just really subtly, like first few notes of it, like this. Filter it, put some reverb on it. Let's filter it. And we might want to increase the reverb. Let's just add an endless small on top of this. Make it a little bit easier for now. And we can add a little automation for the volume. This part is then basically a really short build. Make sure that the bass is coming back in. Make sure the small is away here, so something like this, and make sure that the filter is opened up once again, so this. To be honest, I'm quite feeling this. Let me see the time. Right, so I have quite some time left. Let's just work on that build up a little bit more. First of all, use an impact to make that transition a bit smoother. One is really nice. Filter out the high end. I think that will sound better. It's less prominent, but it still does the job. And maybe an impact with a sweep to it. This one sounds like it could work. Let's try something else. This one is pretty harsh, but sounds pretty nice. Some more reverb to it, as it's quite stopping quite like abrupt. An uplifter. We can automate the volume a bit more. White noise impact, and to that bass shot, let me search this one. We can add an endless smile as well to make the transition towards the drop outro a bit smoother. Alright, that's really nice. Let's add something like a pad sound, which we also have in the Horizon pack. Some pretty nice ones. Let me see. This one. It's really nice. The G. Let's just play it a sustained chord on the G. This one is quite nice, I think. It's kind of like off, but it just sounds nice in a way. Maybe we can change it. Wait. I think we can do something with that. By automating the cutoff, it can sound pretty nice. Let's make it less loud towards the drop. Okay, so let's move on to the second build-up. I just want to finish the track a bit more. The details, I don't think we will have too much time for it, but it's cool if we just have like a general idea already. So let's copy the bass. And remove the add another low cut automation to the bass. Can definitely bring back the chords right here, make it longer, and use it as some kind of uplifter thing. Maybe even automate the pitch, just something that could work. I don't really like the pitch bend on this. Let me see. And I want it to be more silence. And what you hear a lot in these kind of tracks is that there is a silence before the drop, or even another build-up could start. I'm going to think of something that I can do here. Maybe auto pen with the tremolo and then automate it. Let me see. Let's add some and a smile. This one should be linked to the kick as well. Let's just drag this right here. I think that would work. Maybe a vocal. Let me see if there's a vocal. Definitely a reversed vocal. I just put it here. And let me search for it right here. Horizon vocals hooks.
Illusion. The connection.
Okay, so that should be 124 BPM.
The connection between the connection between our worlds.
Let's paste a drop to this one here, and add the snares and the heads already like this.
The connection between our worlds.
Okay, that could work. What is this weird sound here? Oh, that was the reversed vocal. I want to change up this vocal here a little bit.
The connection between worlds, our worlds.
Can also just use this one, the connection, or let me check.
The connection. The connection. The connection. The connection
Oh, that sounds really bad.
The connection.
E sharp, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pitch this reversed vocal up for 4 semitones. And add reverb to it.
The connection. The connection. The connection. The connection. The connection.
Okay, we can use this, I think. I don't want to spend too much time on that vocal thing. Okay, let's simply copy it, add a lot of reverb to it, and filter it. Let's copy it, so I don't want this one to be that wet. I still want to automate it. So let's add a endless smile.
The connection. The connection.
Let's add another filter to the vocal.
The connection.
Maybe we can use a 909 snare, which is used a lot in front of drops.
The connection. connection. The connection.
Nah, it doesn't sound that good. Let me just find a normal snare fill for the build-up. Fill. One that's a bit longer.
The connection. The connection.
Okay, so I see I'm a bit over 1 hour already, but let me add a bit more claps and perks to the drop. And then I think we are pretty far for this video. I'm just going to do it really quickly, as we basically ran out of time. Alright, so that's it for basically 1 hour. I think I've done a bit more. Yeah, overall, of course, this track is definitely isn't like finished or even nearly finished. But I think in 1 hour the idea is pretty cool. With some work, it could just be a really cool track. I try to work fast and explain as much as possible, but sometimes you would just have seen me staring like 10 minutes without saying that much. So that's pretty hard, but I still hope that you guys learned some new techniques, learned some ways how you could improve your workflow, and in general just yeah, I've enjoyed watching this 1 hour tutorial. Alright, so I'm really curious about the end result, and I'm now just going to play it.
connection.
Okay, so I think the idea is pretty cool. Maybe the kick and bass could be a bit better, but overall I think the idea is pretty cool. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, most of the sounds that I use are from our new pack Horizon, which is a melodic techno sample pack. If you have any questions about the things that I showed you today, or just in general, make sure to leave them in the comments and we will try to get back to you. For now, I want to thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video.